Debit cards. So, what they're really talking about here is, and I personally know Oren and I know Chris, and they both use credit cards. They use American Express. And what they're talking about here is there are people that are not disciplined, just like the hundreds of people that have been giving me grief on TikTok and commenting on my video that's almost at now 200,000 views in the last 24 hours. Um, they just don't understand how credit cards work. They don't understand that when you use a credit card, you get protection. When you use a credit card, you're using someone else's money for 30 days. The key to credit cards, and most people mess it up, is they don't pay them off in full. So the key is if you're going to use a credit card, you pay it off in full no matter what. Do not use that credit card unless you can pay it off in full. Now, I also talk about having 6 months of savings. And I believe that if you have good credit and you have lines of credit and you have credit cards that could offset the 6 months of savings, then by all means use those credit cards if you have to with an emergency, because you can take the other money, invest in your IUL, you can invest in apartments, you can invest in other debt, and then you can pay off the credit card very quickly. Okay. So you want to use cash sparingly and you want to use your debit card when you have to. So, like, I have a debit card, I use it for one store and one store only, and that's Winco. And the reason I use it at Winco is Winco does not accept credit cards, and I don't walk around with a bunch of cash. So I use my debit card. Now, that debit card that I use at Winco is associated with a checking account that I do not use to pay my bills. It's a very small balance checking account. And again, it's just for Winco. And I don't spend that much on groceries because the only meat I buy at a grocery store is chicken, because I raise cattle, I go fishing for the fish, and I shoot elk and deer every year. So all my meat, my hamburger, my steak, my fish, that is harvested, and then I only buy chicken, and I don't buy that much chicken. So most of what I buy at the grocery store is going to be vegetables, and it's not a lot of money, but I need a debit card. And so I have a little bit of money. I usually keep around $1,000 in that debit card. And so if it gets hacked, I'm okay. I can still make my mortgage. And that's what I was saying in this TikTok video is you don't want to use a debit card because if it gets hacked, they take all your money. And the bank legally has up to 3 months to give you your money back. Now, most banks are pretty good and they give it back to you within a couple days. But I personally know people have gone 3-4 months and the bank did not give them back their money. I've never personally ever had that happen, but I know people and I have clients that it's happened to. And you can see in the TikTok videos, dozens and dozens of people saying, no, what he's saying is true. The bank took weeks to give me back my money. So don't use a debit card. Always use a credit card when you have a choice. And the other reason I don't like cash, guys, is it's hard to track. So if you're going to track it and write down, hey, I took out $200 out of the ATM and I used it for a month, then track it.